Hi.
Hey, hi everybody. Welcome to the KnitChat Cafe. Sorry for the delay. It just seems like
It wasn't me
something
this
always goes
time.
wrong.
It wasn't me
Pardon
this
me.
time. It wasn't me
I
this
have no
time.
idea. I have no idea that the headphones, they are charged, the light's coming on, but for some reason or other, they are not connecting with
The lights are on and no one's home. Is that it?
That's right. That's
Okay.
right. So
Well,
anyway,
welcome. Welcome, friends. Thanks for waiting for us. We're in the KnitChat Cafe tonight, as we like to call it.
mhm,
And
mhm.
we are Knits and Pieces. We're a podcast.
We
We're
should say,
mostly knitting
hopefully
podcast.
everybody,
Yes.
we should
Can
ask
everybody
that
hear
for
us?
sure because we had a hard time hearing each other a few minutes ago.
Well, I could always hear. It was you that couldn't. But
Yeah.
so
Okay. So sounds good. So we're good.
all
So
right. So again, we are Knits and Pieces. I'm Kelly. This is my friend
Noelle,
Noelle. We
and
are
we are coming to you. Oh, go ahead. It's starting already.
okay. We are coming to you from Southern Ontario in Canada, and we are a mostly knitting podcast, but we do lots of other things too. So, and we come in here every Tuesday evening and spend a little bit more than an hour with all of you. And we talk about what we're knitting, what's on our needles, talk about what's on your needles. We get inspiration from you. Like you feed our creativity for what we can do in the coming weeks. And then we just get to share. So if you are here for the first time, welcome. And if you are a return
If you keep coming back,
chatter,
thank
a
you.
bigger welcome.
Because you never know how it's going to start.
You really don't.
So,
You really don't. And but I guess I should also say too that this is completely just something that we do for fun. Nobody is paying us. We don't have a production crew. It is literally just us. And we are not the techiest people in the world. We are
no.
doing our best. Be kind.
Yeah.
So,
And it just seems like every Tuesdays, something happens. I think I'm going to be ready. I'm going to get things done. I'm going to test it out. But as far as the microphone, we can't really test it out until we're both in here anyway. And then when you've only got a few minutes, it's hardly long enough to figure out what went wrong. Because first of all, I got on here and my mouse needed new batteries. And Ross is like, "Did you turn it on?" I'm like, "Yes, I turned it on." Anyways, it needed new batteries, but that all got sorted out. So I was more concerned about that than the sound. And anyway, we're here. We're here.
We're here.
That's what we're here. We're in one piece.
Almost. You know, it's been a rough week. It's been a busy week. And there's a saying that has become a mantra of mine that life is what happens when you're busy making plans. I had so many plans. You know, honestly, when our show ends on Tuesday night, I think to myself, my little brain gets working and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I have like 7 whole days now before we do this again. I'm going to finish this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to cast this on. Like I can hardly get to sleep on Tuesday nights thinking about all the things I'm going to do. And you know how much knitting time I put in this week? So like this is going to be no surprise that I've really not got a lot to show tonight. I knit Saturday morning at the coffee shop with our in-person friends.
Our group.
And then I think I had 1 or 2 other evenings where I got to knit about an hour or so. So yeah, life happened. In Canada, this was tax week. So April 30th was our tax deadline. I do all of the taxes for our family, as Noelle does for her family. Your family's bigger than mine. But my family is, they're procrastinators and they wait until the very last minute. Although my son didn't this year. And so I was busy doing that all weekend. And there was a funeral in there. Not that that's, I mean, yes, that's a bad thing, but it's not bad that my time was taken up by that. It was a nice chance to visit with some family friends and catch up with some people. And I know you've been busy too, but you probably still got lots of knitting done, didn't you?
Well, I don't have to work. So even though those other things happen, I do still have the regular hours in the day where I don't work. So I do, but you know what, like, I don't know, like my knitting lately, like I think I've done more ripping out than I've done knitting, like, and silly mistakes. And I'm like, I think, anyway, we'll get to those. I'll show you those, but they're fixed. They're fixed. But I still haven't been able to rip out that one sock that I knit on the needle that's too big. But
just can't do it. You're still looking for that one person with the one big leg, aren't you?
Yeah. But maybe I'll bring it on the train to Montreal and I'll let someone else rip it out so I don't have to do the ripping out.
Okay. Montreal's coming up soon.
I know. I see some people in here from Montreal, and yeah, we're so excited. It's just, well, we'll be leaving like 2 weeks from this Thursday.
I know, and I still have a sweater
and
to
I
finish
still want to
and
knit
another
like
one to
4
make.
sweaters.
I know.
I want to knit 4 sweaters before then.
I don't know how this is going to go down. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
But
so anyways, it will, we'll see. We get done what we get done. I have sample knits that I have to get done, so they're a priority.
Yes.
But the one I'm going to show today, I'm hoping, actually, if I hadn't have done the amount of ripping out that I've had to do, it would be done.
Noelle may be running around Montreal naked, but the sample knits will be done.
I think I have other sweaters I have other sweaters that I can bring if I don't get anything else knit, but hopefully I will. So, and we do have 6 hours on the train.
Okay. Yes, we do. But there's going to be a lot of talking on the train, right? So I don't know how much I can talk and knit, but I'm much more productive when I'm by myself. So something that I was thinking while I was sitting and waiting for Noelle's internet or her headset to start working.
Yeah.
I was reading some of the comments and I was watching some of the people interact, and I thought, you know what? Like I said, it's been a rough week. It was a really bad day, but I was sitting there and I just got very happy looking at all of the conversation going on. And I thought, we are actually, as a group, as a community here tonight in this group, so very fortunate. Like, where else would we have this opportunity to be with friends from like literally all over the world, that are in here? And just, I'm watching the conversation and I could just picture us if we really were in that room in a coffee shop and everybody's like, oh, I'm working on this. And what are you working on? And I got this yarn. And what do you suggest for that? And everybody's just like having this amazing conversation. Even without us, Noelle, they were having a great conversation.
I know. That's amazing.
It was so heartwarming. So thank you for including us in this happy group. We are honored to be here.
Cindy said she just had to frog a colorwork sock before it's too tight. Cindy, I feel your pain. I feel your pain. And I mean, we've all had to rip out. And you know what? The worst part is doing the ripping out. Once I have that thing back on the needle, then it doesn't bother me. Then I can get right back into it. But it's just the thought of the ripping it out and then having to get it back on a needle. Well, sometimes you have to rip out right to the start, which I'm going to have to do with the sock. So there's no getting it back on the needle. But other times it's that getting it back on the needle. And then once I get it back on the needle and kind of get that first row done so that everything's oriented the right way, then it's fine. Then it doesn't bother me. But it's like, just, I can't even sleep till I get it to that point. Anyway, I'm sure
you're not the only person ripping out.
No, yes. That's right. Exactly. So
yes,
but okay. So what should we start with?
Well, I just
have some questions.
Okay. Can I just hop in with something before you get started?
Yeah.
Just before I lose this comment, there was a comment asking us, is there a plan for any of us to meet up at Montreal? We don't have a formalized plan, but we were there last year. And I want to say that the hotel itself is very conducive to meeting either in the bar restaurant, or there were some loungy areas around. And from the time we walked in, we were running into people and we found all sorts of people, great, fantastic, fun people to hang out with and knit with. So, no, we don't have any formal plans, but please, if you see us in the hotel, please come and say hi. And if you see us knitting with other people, do not be shy.
Come and sit with us.
Grab a chair, come and sit with us. We would love to meet you. And that is very genuine. And I absolutely mean it. Please come and find us if you see us in Montreal. I'll be the taller one. Noelle will be the shorter one. We should be easy to spot. Noelle won't have a finished sweater.
I might.
But you have enough of a stash to pull from, so.
I do.
Yes.
But I might have a finished sweater. I think I might, so.
Yes. Okay.
We'll see.
Carry on.
Okay. Okay, so there's lots of people here talking about ripping out, so Yeah, I guess it's part of knitting, right? It's just something that happens.
It's a season
So,
in our knitting. It's just a
yeah.
season.
It just seems like mine all happened in this week. It seems like when you're in a rush and you're trying to get ahead, that's when it happens.
Yes, of
So,
course.
okay. So we had a few last week. We talked a little bit about Knit Companion, and I had some comments from people, and apparently, and I didn't know this, and I thank everybody that let me know about
Some
it.
hot tips.
Up in the right hand corner, there's a little down arrow that says recently modified, and if you hit that, it brings up the last projects that you were working on, which is genius, which I did not know.
And I went right in there and tried it, and it's awesome.
I know. So thank you everyone for giving us that tip, and for anyone else using Knit Companion, that's an awesome feature. I mean, I know that like I do use quite a few of the tools, but I know that the program has so many tools that I haven't even accessed yet. Like I do love it for color work charts, for lace charts, and it does have an amazing feature of being able to put charts together, because a lot of times on a pattern, especially if you're doing, let's say, an all over cable sweater, there'll maybe be different cable patterns and you've only got an individual chart of each. Well, the Knit Companion tool allows you to kind of put those together so you can work across a row, as opposed to having to go to this chart and then this chart and then this chart. So again, I can do that, but I still know there's lots of things that are in there that I don't use. And there's some things that are in there that I don't necessarily use because I'm okay without it, but it might be helpful. Like for some people, like I actually count my rows. I know it does have the row counter in there, which you can go in and you can count every row that you do. And if you get used to doing that, that's fine. But half the time I forget, right? At the
I
end
use
of
that
the
all the
row
time. I do. I use
See,
that
I
all the time.
forget. So I don't use it and I go back and I count my rows. So the only times I'm really counting rows is if I'm in a chart, because then it counts it for you as you move to the next row.
But where I find it particularly helpful, the counter, is if it has something that's on a repeat, like maybe a series of decreasing rows over, you're decreasing a certain amount of stitches over 8 rows. So you do that, and then it says, now do that decrease 5 more times. So then I like to get 2 of the counters going, one for the 5, like for the first 8 rows. And then I'll say, oh, that's 1 repeat. And then that's 2 repeats.
Yep.
And I do find that really, really helpful. I use it a lot.
I just forget to do it. So I have to go back and count rows. So, but anyway, so the tools are there.
Yeah. I was sort of thinking maybe that might be a good idea for you and I to do a podcast on. We could do like some of our top tips for Ravelry, some of our top tips for Knit Companion. I don't know if that's something anybody would be interested to see, but when some of those ideas were coming in last week, I saw the comments and I kind of got thinking about that, like for one of our sort of extra episodes, not our lives.
Yep.
So,
yep. Yeah, I think that would be a good idea. So, and if anybody's got some ideas that they want to share with us that we could maybe include in that, just let us know, because like I said, there's lots of things that we don't know about both programs in ways that they can help you either organize or, work through a pattern easier. So yeah, so we could do that after Montreal.
Because we'll do an episode for Montreal. We will, for sure. We'll talk to some people there. We'll visit.
And I have
some
a sweater
knitters.
to knit before then.
And you have a sweater to knit.
At least one. So anyway, okay. So that was the first comment. And then someone had asked about the pool noodles that we use for blocking our sweaters, and whether when we do that, whether we still put pins in. How I do it, unless I really have to block the crap out of something, I don't use pins, because I find even when you're really trying to block aggressively, when you put a pin in, you kind of get a mark where that pin's pulled out. I try to, when I do the sweater and use the pool noodles, I try to put the pool noodles in, kind of stretch them apart on the body of the sweater to the width that the sweater should be, kind of measure it as best as I can across. And then if I can get it to stay there without using pins, I don't use pins. If I had to use pins, it would kind of be maybe to anchor the pool noodle where it is onto the mat, as opposed to putting it through the knitting.
Yeah, but that's a good idea too.
I try not to use pins. Sometimes you do have to, depending on how much you have to block it. But I find your sweaters, for me, I like the look of the sweater better if I haven't used pins on it.
Yes.
So,
and I pretty much do the same thing. unless I'm like, especially, well, maybe lace I maybe treat independently, because lace, I
Right.
really want that lace to open up in a sweater.
Right.
So
But it's
I may pin that out
right.
strategically, but generally it's just to like take that seam
Yeah.
out of a sleeve or the side. And then there's different sizes of noodles. Like there's the
Yeah.
normal pool noodle, then there's like a
Yep.
jumbo pool noodle, which is really nice for adult sleeves. And then there's also these like little, they're not a
Yeah.
pool
I've got
noodle.
ones that are only, I've got pool noodles that are only about like that big around. So they are quite a bit smaller and they're perfect for baby garments.
Okay. I haven't found pool
So,
noodles that small, but if you go into the electrical section, like of a Home Depot, it's just gray and it's an insulating tube. So it's only a smaller diameter. It's like something that you would put around pipes for hot water heaters and things like that.
okay.
And so then it comes in different lengths. And then I just cut sections for the baby sleeves. Yeah.
I've also used for babies, I've also used the inside of paper towel holders or the inside of gift wrapped rolls.
Yes, that works well as well.
And
And
so
if you're worried about it getting wet, you can wrap them in
you can
saran.
just duct tape it.
Oh, duct
Or you
tape.
can
That's a good
or you
one.
can just duct tape it and then it's permanent, right? So
Yeah.
yeah. And that's a good size for things too. So and that's obviously a cheap option. Like those rolls, like gift paper rolls, the middle of those are amazing because I use those on my my loom too, because you kind of, when I roll it up, I kind of put those over and it keeps when you're rolling on the new fabric onto the back apron of the loom, then you don't have the ripples from where you've joined all the threads onto the apron. So I find it works really well for that. So
Brigitte's asking if we cut the pool noodles. Yes, we just kind of like in a sleeve length and, you know, the body length of a sweater. Grab them in the summer. Don't try to find them in the winter when it's cooler. Well, in Canada anyway, don't try to find them then. You'll pay more money. In the summer, they're super cheap. Couple bucks a noodle.
Yeah, but really, I mean, really all you need is something like with a circular diameter, or that's not a diameter then, with like just a circular so that you can fit it in. And then depending on the size you're doing, depends on whether you want a bigger one or a smaller one.
Yes. I also use pool noodles to, you can put them in your boots if you're storing boots, like a full calf boot, like a dress boot, a long boot. You can stand the pool noodles up in them, and then you can clip the pool noodles together at the top. And then when I put those away for the winter or for the summer, then I don't have to worry about the shaft of the boot flopping over and getting a crease.
Yeah. And I've even done them. I've taken them and bent a wire hanger so that you get a V, kind of a V shape, like if you had a round yoke sweater, and then stick a pool noodle on each end of that.
Yes.
And then, you know, like kind of, even if you just want to like air out a sweater or something like outside, you can kind of hang it on that. And then you don't have like that one hard seam line down and it gives it kind of more of a shape to hang on to and distributes the weight of the sweater better too. So
yes,
and
I think that's similar to what Lise is suggesting. She says you could put pieces of dowels between the noodles to hold them out at a different, at a certain width. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So lots of great ideas and, you know, fairly inexpensive kind of materials that you have to buy in order to use that for blocking.
I would totally rather spend my dollars on the yarn or the patterns than I would on the blocking equipment. Not going to lie. Because the other thing that I've done too is the blocking rods. They're quite expensive. The blocking rods, like if you want to put, run the rod in there to use for a shawl, right? And there are times like for a shawl, I really probably want some of that out to point. So what I've actually bought are the welding rods at Princess Auto. They have a flat and tapered end. So I just get my husband to snip those off, and then he sands the ends for me so they won't pick the knitting. And I think I bought an entire tube. There's probably 30 of them in there for about $8 at Princess Auto. Yeah. Super inexpensive.
So. Okay, so last week we were also talking about what we do or how we store our scraps. So there were lots of ideas from people on what you could use your scraps for. Again, stripes in a sweater is an awesome idea, like especially if you pick a solid color or something for the background on a sweater, and then you can do all different sorts of colors of stripes in it. Lots of people use them for toys, making toys, because the kids don't really care if everything's not matching and you use different colors in it. And then I had thought of this before too, and then I'd forgotten about it, but it is always a good idea to keep a little piece of your yarn in case you have to make a repair to your garment later on.
Yes. Yes, for sure.
So yeah. So I mean, that might be stored in a different place. You might just roll off a little bit and have, you know, somewhere where you keep, like, especially for garments, you know, so that if you do in the future have to make some sort of a repair to it, you know, if you snag it or something happens and you have to use a little bit, you've got the exact yarn in order to do that.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
that's a good idea to keep some of that. And then the last comment that I had seen in the ones under the video where Kelly, someone wanted to know what yarn you were using for your Advent socks. They were doing the Advent socks, that Natalie's pattern.
Oh, that's right. And I meant to get back to that person. Yes. I'm using all Stroll socks from Knit Picks. The Stroll also is very, very similar to the Leo and Roxy Basics, I find, anyway. Like it feels exactly like that. So that's what I'm using. And I happen to have an entire tote box. I think I might have bought over the years almost every single color that Stroll has, just in a 50-gram ball. And my intention was always just to use them for heels and toes. And so I'm using that. But the base color on Natalie's socks that I'm doing is actually Lion Brand Sockies.
Marshmallow.
And in the colorway Marshmallow, which is discontinued. It was one of our favorite yarns. It was like it's a gorgeous cream base. It's that perfect, not white yarn that goes with everything. And I really like that yarn. It has a very solid feel to it, but sadly, they don't make it anymore. So yeah, just lots of scraps. And, but it's a pretty cohesive pattern that I'm making because it is all of the same yarn, just different colors. Yeah.
Okay. So maybe we should move on to what we're wearing.
I guess so. 22 minutes in. My goodness. All right. Do you want to start?
Sure. So I am wearing the Corbis sweater by Natasha Hornby. I did put a picture in here so you can see the back.
I can look for it.
Okay. I'll get the picture. You get the banner.
Okay.
There we go. Okay. So this is, I really like a lot of Natasha Hornby patterns. They're different. They're constructed. They have unique type of construction often. This one is done where that whole front panel that's got like the basket weave and the little baubles and things in it, you kind of knit that V shape first, and then you fill in the rest of both the sweater body and the sleeves with short rows. So it's a really neat, unique construction. It was fun to knit. I really enjoyed, I had never knit a sweater that way before. I love the detail in the pattern. Like, it's just, I don't know. She's a pattern genius. That's all I can say. Like, she does really have unique, different patterns. I find that it fits really well. This is done in the Sonder Yarns Sunday morning fingering, or four-ply, I think they call it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Sonder, that's what it's called, isn't it? Sunday morning?
Yes.
Sunday morning four-ply. Yes. And this color is called Sunday Kind of Love. I actually got it last year in Montreal, but at Espace Tricot, not at the festival. And we were in the Espace Tricot store. Yes. And it was on the Sunday. And this was called Sunday Kind of Love. So it was like, it was meant to be. So
meant to be.
Meant to be. So this yarn is a blend of BFL, Blueface Leicester, and Massam. And in this case, it's one of the original colors, which the Massam is kind of a dark brownish shade. So you can kind of see, you kind of get that subtle depth of tone from the brownish colored yarn. And I just, well, you're knitting with it now. I just absolutely loved knitting with this yarn. It's gorgeous yarn. I love how it knit up. I think this was less than 2.5 skeins to do the whole sweater. Like full length sweater, full length sleeves, like pattern and baubles and everything in the yoke. So it really has good yardage. And
I really like that it's a V-neck, but it's a high
V-neck.
It's not too
deep. Yeah.
It's a lot of you have to wear V-neck sweaters. You feel like you're going to need to wear something underneath. And I think that's a really clever look. I like that shallow V because it is pretty. You've got a pendant there that just sits above it. I think it looks really nice.
It's like mirrored in the body of the sweater. So it's really, really nice. Love it. So
it's very pretty.
I would knit another one of these just because I really enjoyed knitting. So
not because you need another one.
Okay, so is it no, not because I need another one. Is it soft? I wouldn't say like it's not soft like merino, but it
It's
doesn't
not
bother me at all
rustic.
to wear it. Like it
No.
feels nice. So, but it doesn't feel like merino. It doesn't feel like superwash merino.
Hmm.
So you can feel that it is a more what should I say? Less treated yarn. But yeah, I really like it. It certainly doesn't feel like Briggs and Little.
No, no, it does not. No, it's very soft. If I'm knitting with it and I'm planning to
Yeah.
wear it, friends, you know it's soft. So
Yeah.
I'm
So
chuckling at Linda's comment. She said she just finished dinner and her husband said, "Oh, go watch." I hope he's cleaning up for you while you're in there watching. And I noticed too when Marianne popped in, she said she's not feeling very sparkly tonight. She's under the weather, under the covers,
oh, that's too bad.
but still hanging in and watching. So hopefully you're feeling better,
Hope you're feeling
Marianne.
better. Yep.
Yes.
So okay. So Kelly, what are you wearing?
What am I wearing? I am wearing. Are you getting stuff? I'll
I'm
get the
trying.
picture. I'm
My
wearing
computer
the.
is not cooperating tonight.
Okay. I'm wearing
I'll
the
find it. I've got okay.
Cozy Classic Raglan by Jessie Made Designs. And this is a crop sweater, so I can show you. I just uploaded this picture. It's, I don't think we gave our weather report this week, but it's stinking cold here in
It
Ontario
is
today.
cold. I
So
know.
we are definitely back into like full on sweater mode. And this might be one of the coziest, softest, dreamiest sweaters I own. So it was a no brainer to come home tonight and throw that one on. Tonight, we were laughing because we're both just wearing leggings under our sweaters tonight, which we would
I
never
know.
be wearing. But heck, you can't see us from the waist down and they're comfortable to sit in. So I was thinking today, though, now I sort of wish I had made this one longer because this would be super cozy to wear with a pair of jeans.
Mhm.
But I made this holding two yarns together. So it's Leo and Roxy yarn. It's the marled sock in straw into gold, and it is their mohair in
Buttercup.
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 I knew there was something besides butter. So I had little pieces left that I wanted to show you what these two look like before they went together. And there they are. And the yellow is definitely not as poppy as it is on this camera, but the LED lighting here just picks up on that. But look at that mixture. And then when it goes together, it just creates this amazing fabric. And this is like, I'm telling you, it's so cozy. I feel like I don't know, like when the kids were little and they had like stuffies that they really liked. I feel like I'm
Mhm.
my own stuffy
That
when I wear this.
yeah.
I want to just keep rubbing my arms, and it's so cozy. And I feel really nice and warm and tucked in. So it was a fun pattern. It's a simple pattern, but it has a lot of detail to it. And one of the really nice details that she has, go to the other side, is this nice little piece that comes down here, the sort of a drop stitch down that raglan. It just gives just the tiniest little elevated look to the sweater. So it's not just a basic raglan. I like that.
Mhm.
And I did tubular cast on and tubular cast off. And I liked her method of the tubular cast on so much that I have gone back to this pattern many times and used her method of the tubular cast on for other projects. So
Yeah, I've done that too.
highly
Yep.
recommend it. Her pattern is,
Especially for the cast on.
yeah, her pattern is
Yeah.
so very well written.
Yep.
So,
So
okay. Oops. Now
okay.
I've shut everything off. There we go.
Okay. So do you have any finished objects?
No.
Neither do I.
Oh, why didn't I finish something this week? It could have been my week. It could have been my week.
I'm not. So if Jacqueline, if you're watching when I send you the show notes, no, it's right. I don't have any finished objects.
This is like twice in a month. Twice in a month you didn't.
No, we're in May. This is May.
I know, but like within a 4-week window. Not a
This is May.
calendar month, a 4-week
This is the
window.
second. This is the
Yes.
second. Anyway, no. And like I said, had I not have done as much ripping back, I may have had a finished object, but I do not. So anyway, that's right, Sarah. Hell froze over. Anyway, I said to Ross, and I said, Ross, I don't have any finished objects. Actually, yesterday I thought, oh, maybe I can get something finished really quick. And then I had to pull out about this much.
Sometimes I think that too. On a Sunday night, I'm like, that's it. I can finish this by Tuesday for KnitChat, just so I'll have something. But you know what? It's okay. It's okay.
Oh yeah, it's okay. I'm okay.
Well, you're probably not okay. It probably shamed you to the bone to have to admit that, but I'm okay because there's lots of weeks I don't have a finished object, and I'm okay with that. It would be nice to have something. You know, I went on my like 8 or 9 week stint where I was finishing something every week, and it felt really good, and I felt super accomplished.
I know.
But now I'm back
to when you have something done.
Now I'm just back to feeling completely okay with the fact that.
But you know what? I've still enjoyed my knitting, so that's the most important part.
Yes, almost as much as you're enjoying the ripping out.
I'm not enjoying the ripping out. I don't enjoy the ripping out. I enjoy it when I get back to the part where I can see that I've knit up all the yarn that I'd originally knit.
Sarah said that she finished her Mary Chen, which I am super excited to see. And it was black. She knit that in black. So kudos to you, because I've always wanted a black hand knit sweater. And I've always thought I would love it if somebody else would knit it for me. But there. And Bobette says, go ahead.
I think I'm going to do a black, but I think I'll do it in the summer because you've got the best, even though you don't necessarily want to be knitting outside with it, like even inside, you've got the best light through the summer.
Sarah says she's now blind.
Okay, maybe it's too late. Maybe I'm too old to knit a black sweater.
And Bob, well, no, you just get your extra glasses, you know, you get
extra glasses.
Your extra glasses on top of the regular glasses.
That's right, Mickey. Knitting should not be stressful. You are so right.
Right. And Bobette says they're not stressing about trying to finish something by Tuesday, and neither should we. And truly, I don't. I just wish I could.
Well, I just like to have things to show so that it's not boring on here.
I know, but friends, like if anybody has like imposter syndrome, it's me. Look at who my co-host is. I have to try to keep up with Noelle, and I can't. I have like Noelle keeps reminding me, I still have a full-time job to go to. Yes.
I keep telling you to retire too, but you apparently aren't hearing that one.
We'll get there.
Well, anyway,
it's coming soon. We're getting there. We're getting there.
Okay. What are you working on?
Okay. Well, I was really only working on one thing, but I was thinking before we start talking about what we're working on, we completely forgot to announce our prize winners tonight.
Whoops.
Because
sorry.
As Noelle pointed out, it's May now. So we had sock winners from April, and we had some yarn that we talked about in our last sort of extra podcast. I don't even know what we call it anymore. We used to call it a regular podcast, and this was like the weekly.
Okay, it's a recorded
live
versus a live.
Okay, that's a good way to put it, because the regulars are no longer regulars. They're when we find time to do it. So yes, our last recorded podcast about Noelle's trip to New Zealand, which, by the way, friends, is anybody else thinking that she's channeling the helicopter with she's got her?
Actually, I had to wear these when I got pulled up. Not these ones, but I did have to wear
similar ones. That's what I said. Up. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, no, I thought you meant I was the pilot.
Well, yeah. Didn't you think you were the pilot?
I might have after the drugs. Anyway.
So we have some yarn from that episode to give away. So let's before Isabel takes off, she says, greetings from Martinique. She just got home and the pool and the punch are calling. She's on vacation right now. She goes, I can't stay, but I wanted to say hi, miss you all. See you soon.
Yep.
Yeah. Way to torture us. It's very cold here today, Isabel. Okay. Prizes. Let's get started.
Okay. So what are we going to do first? The New Zealand?
Sure.
Okay.
So we have these lovely skeins of yarn that Noelle bought in New Zealand and carried home with her.
Yes. And they were a fundraiser that Skeins organized. So Skeins is the yarn company, the yarn store that I went to in Napier, and they dyed 4 different colors, and the proceeds of these skeins are going to cyclone relief for people that were affected by the cyclone. So, and that was one thing that she had talked about too, was like in the cyclone, it wasn't just like the direct like people that were affected. It was so many more things got affected because it slowed down a lot of the like different things that you don't even think about, like the water filtration system. So in the case of where they're working with yarn and doing their spinning and that, they require a lot of water. Well, they didn't have nearly the amount of water that they would normally have. So the production amount went down substantially until that could come back to. So, you know, when we think of somewhere where there's been a disaster and you see actually all the physical effects of it, there's so many more things that get affected that you don't even realize, like along in the supply chain that you don't even realize would be affected. Like just because you go into a mill and it seems like everything there is okay, doesn't mean that they can still operate as before. So, and that would be the same with a whole bunch of different businesses. So I thought it was very nice of them to do this and do these colorways with the proceeds going. So we had a couple of skeins that we were giving away and I pulled 2 winners. And all that we asked you to do was, I can't even remember now what the prompt was.
It was just leave a comment. Just leave any comment below.
Okay. So our first winner is Eileen. And Eileen had said, thanks for sharing your adventures. I can't even read this without my other glasses. I'm glad you are.
Would you like me to read it?
Glad you're recommending. New Zealand is a wonderful country. I visited many years ago with 3 of my best friends, and I did purchase a very nice bulky cardigan. That's nice. And then you have a really nice memory from going there. And like I've already done like a sweater for one of my granddaughters. I've already finished a sweater for myself. And it's really nice to have that type of a souvenir from somewhere that you've traveled to. So, so thanks, Eileen. So that's Eileen Laporte. She is our first winner. And then the second winner is Neely at Neely Knits. So I'll let you read this one, Kelly, because my eyes hurt now.
It says, what a beautiful episode. So glad to see smiling faces. Kelly, I am sure you and Noelle will remember this year's birthday always for very different reasons. Yes, yes, yes.
So, yes, Neely, we will.
We will. Yes, we will. But thank you both for reaching out and sending us some great comments. Now, I'm not certain how we're going to determine who gets what. So how about I'm just going to leave it as a surprise.
Yeah, I think that's the best way.
Because I don't think either of them are in here tonight. If they are, they could choose. But if they're not, I will just surprise you and you will each get one of these in the mail. So when we're done the next round of prizes, we will show you how to get in touch with us.
Let you know how to contact us. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So then we have our monthly sock yarn prizes. So we always have a pattern prize winner. And when we draw this, we go back to the beginning of January and draw up to the end of the month. So that would be to the end of April. So Kelly set that up and drew the prizes. So Kelly, how many socks were in there for the end of April?
967 pairs of socks.
Wow, that's amazing. That's
by the end of April.
That's almost 1,000 pairs in 4 months. That's amazing.
Cozy feet. So, cozy feet.
That's right. Okay, so our April pattern winner is Lynn, who is
Knittin' Smitten.
Knittin' Smitten.
And
she was number 603.
Yes. Yeah.
So and congratulations.
I really like her socks too. I think they're really pretty. I like that yarn.
I love that.
I like
color.
everything about it. I know it's very nice.
Yep. So congratulations to Lynn. And then we also have a yarn prize winner.
And this month's yarn for April is one that Noelle got. And this is some yarn that you recently knit some socks with. So I thought this was a pretty springy color. It's the Prolana stretch socks called Atna. And it's really unique yarn.
It is. I loved knitting with it. Loved it. I made the Drea Renee Knits her everyday socks with it, and I love them. And it matches my sweater.
It really does. Yeah. And it's so soft. It's absolutely beautiful. And
the way they just have that one little, like it's not even really sort of variegated. It's kind of got little stripes, and you just get a few little stitches of the different colors. I really like the way it knit up.
Yeah, it's really pretty. So that's our sock yarn for the month. And the winner is?
Okay, so the winner for the sock yarn is Kay Clark. And Kay's got all those socks in there. And she might have been, was she one of the ones that asked
She was one of the ones that asked you to put the post in, yes.
So she had sent me her pictures of her socks, and I put them in so that if you see that it was a post that I put in, I'm putting them in for somebody. So congratulations to Kay. And you can see she's working on lots of socks there. They're all gorgeous. And I think I haven't gotten as many socks done this year as I normally do, but I still got to get my Christmas ones done. But anyway, yes. Congratulations to Kay. And thanks to everybody for all your sock knitting and entering your socks in there. It's so nice to see. Kelly and I usually always have a pair of socks on the go. Like they're always, if I don't know what I'm going to knit, it's like a pair of socks that I take with me. They're so easy, so portable. Good way to try out different yarns, different patterns.
Absolutely. And a huge thank you to Natalie, who is our pattern sponsor each month. Natalie has amazing patterns, as you all know, and many of you have knit her patterns. So if you were a winner today, please reach out to us on Ravelry or at this email address, knitsandpiecespodcast@gmail.com. Send the message in with your full name, because sometimes we don't have your last name. And
we don't want to send something to Knit and Kitten or Smitten.
Yeah, Smitten Knitten is not going to cut it with the postman. So please send us your full information, and I will get that in the mail to you. And while we are talking about the mail, I wanted to talk to you firstly a little bit about the mailing procedures. Generally, what I do is I wait for a few packages and then I take it to the mail all in a lump sum. So it was just a little over 2 weeks ago that I took the last bundle of packages. And also I will not be mailing any packages with tracking or anything like that. Postage in Canada, especially if I have to leave Canada with the postage, and our prizes are available around the world. So I know a couple of weeks ago, one of my packages was heading off to Edinburgh in Scotland. And so the shipping to leave our country is very expensive. And that's on Noelle and I, and we're not complaining. We are happy to do it, but it will be just going regular, like the lowest price parcel post. So it may take several weeks to get to you. So have faith. I don't think I've ever lost a package yet. I've never gotten one back that couldn't be delivered. It's just sometimes it may take a little bit of time. So you have to have a little bit of patience.
You did actually send an extra one out one time, though.
I did send an extra one at one time. Yes, I did. So just be patient, and your package, your yarny goodness will definitely arrive. So.
Yeah, we have no control over the mail. And I know it's even happened like I'll order something for myself from somewhere and I think it's going to be there in no time because it's so close, and it takes it forever. And then sometimes, like when I was in New Zealand and shipped backyard from Skeins, it got there before I even got home. So there doesn't seem to be any rhyme or reason as to why sometimes something gets there right away and why other times it seems like it takes forever. So, but
there's somebody that just posted a comment and said she posted to Kansas with tracking and it cost her $91.51. Friends, I cannot afford $91 to send you a skein of yarn. So we, as I said, I just choose the lowest shipping rate possible to send it out. So you have to be patient. It may take a little bit of time. And while we're talking about the prizes too, we should also let you know, Noelle, you had a spiel. You can probably say it better about how some of the podcasts have been spammed lately, and ours got hit with a bot a few months ago as well.
When we give out prizes, it is never going to be us contacting you through a YouTube comment or any type of a comment. Actually, we will announce any prizes that are given out on this podcast. We've given you our email address to contact us from. I also do check messages in Ravelry, so you could do it on Ravelry. Instagram's kind of, I find, hit or miss, because sometimes I find you'll sometimes see something and then you'll go back and it's not there, or I don't know. I find that Ravelry, as far as giving us information as far as where to mail it to, Ravelry or the Gmail Gmail email account is probably the best way. So, because that's easier for us to track too. So,
yes,
but we will not ever
in Instagram, because if Noelle checks the mail, then she sends it to me directly, and I'll get a label printed off, and we can get that yarn out to you.
Yeah, and we will never ask you for money. We will never ask you for any information.
We won't ask you to pay the postage. No, we won't.
We won't ask you for your anything. We will not ask for anything other than your real name and your mailing address. That's it.
Yes. And then,
So-
yes.
So we don't want anybody to like respond to anything, especially if they're telling you that it needs to have money sent for something. Like there's so many scams going on, not just on knitting podcasts, but just like in general, like, I mean, I don't know how many calls I get in a week that tell me my social insurance number has been compromised.
Yes.
Every week. So.
Or they're coming to arrest you. Yes.
They are.
Revenue Canada is on their way right now to get you.
My needles. I don't think I can take my needles to jail with me.
I don't think so. No.
So I just don't answer those calls. Anyway. Okay.
Before we leave the admin, there's still just a couple of other make-alongs that we have going. Rather than leaving this and coming back to this later in the podcast, let's finish up with that before we move on to what we're working on.
Okay. So sock along, we know you just have to knit socks and get them in there. And that goes for the whole year. And we draw prizes at the end of every month.
Yes.
Okay.
Next one
our other one is Smash That Stash.
Stash.
And we want you to use your stash yarn. You have to use at least 50 grams of stash. It can be in conjunction with another yarn. It can be a project that was a whip. You just have to use 50 grams of stash yarn, which is yarn that you acquired prior to January 1st, 2023. So, and there's a thread for that. And for the Smash the Stash or Smash Your Stash, or, if one of your friends let you smash their stash, but then it's not stash for you, but they get to enter it.
They get to enter.
Okay. Forget that. Anyway, so we do.
Don't be adding rules now. No more rules.
I won't. No new rules halfway through the year. That we draw prizes for at the end of every quarter. And then we're going to have a grand prize at the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then the other one that we've got going is our Burra in conjunction with a number of other podcasts, which I think we'll be meeting with a lot of these podcasters when we go to Chicago in July. Because I think that's where this idea originated.
Yes. But some of them are coming to Montreal too.
Yes, we will see some of them there too. So that's 3-Ply Podcast, Around the Table Yarns, Dude Knits, Frivolous and Frugal, Got Whips, Magpie's Cottage, Pandemic Knitter, and PJ Knits. And I am doing the Burra Cowl, but in ours, you can knit whatever Marie Wallen pattern or Susan Crawford pattern that you would like. And within that whole realm of patterns, there are also crochet patterns. So if you prefer to crochet, you can do that. And there is a finished object thread on Ravelry for that. And that runs till the end of the year. All right. Okay.
I feel like we're both talking really fast.
Her Burra is buried.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Dig it out.
Irene, resurrect that thing.
That'd be great train knitting.
Bring it to Montreal so we can help you with it.
Yes.
So,
okay, a couple of people have mentioned my mug tonight. I don't think anybody can get it anymore. It is pretty. It's a David's Tea mug, not a handmade mug tonight. I don't often buy mugs, other than the ones that are handmade, because those are the ones I like. But this one I really liked, and it's metallic.
It's nice.
It's
sparkly.
It is. And it has a little, one of those covers too, that you can, flip over and put the bag on. Cause usually I use it for tea. Tonight it's just water, but it's funny. I go to my mug cupboard on Tuesday nights and I'll look down at what I'm wearing and I try to coordinate my mug to my outfit. Isn't that silly? That's silly. I know, but it's a fun mug.
Okay.
All right.
What are we working on? Because we haven't talked about any knitting so far.
Yes, we have. 49:45. I have to take notes for the time codes.
Okay, I'll start. Okay,
sure.
First of all, last week I had said that I was going to combine some different yarns and do a Felix sweater. So the yarns I was going to combine was my King Cole Cosmos. What were the other ones, Kelly? The Leo and Roxy Marled sock and the Leo and Roxy mohair in Geek in the Pink. And I started it, and you know what? I just didn't like it.
Okay.
like, there's the picture. I mean, I thought, okay, I could keep knitting. Maybe I'll like it better, but it just wasn't popping. I just didn't like it.
Nope.
So I don't know. I think I could see the variegation too much in the sock yarn. I don't know. It just wasn't doing it for me. So I ripped it out.
Okay.
And I had started the neck, but I thought, you know what? It's always been said, if you don't like it now, you're not going to like it later. So I thought, I'm not going to continue to do that because it's not bringing me joy. And I want what I'm going to do to sparkle. So
I think
ripped it out.
looking back at that picture, I'll bring it back up.
Yep.
If your marl have been, oh, okay,
Colored.
you were waiting for me to bring it. If your marl had been, I don't know where it is now. Where did it go?
Here, I'll get it. I got it. Maybe I got it. There we go.
Oh, there. If your marl had been a pink marl, I think you might have liked it better, because then I don't like, I know where you're headed with this. You just saw too much contrast between the mohair and the marl, whereas like, okay, we can get rid of the picture now. So when I did this one, you see I have like a colored marl that I was pairing with the mohair. So then I got
everything more.
a little bit more of a blend. So if you had have used, for instance, a gray mohair with that color of marled sock, I think you would have been infinitely happy. But you had something in your head, or you had a vision in your mind, and it wasn't working out. So let's put it aside. You're going to like the yarn for something else. Okay. So what did you do instead?
Okay, so I did start another one. So
we need a drum roll.
And I am love this.
Oh,
I am in love with it.
Yes, I can tell.
I don't know if you can see the sparkle, but I can. Like in real life, it just is. I love it. So you can see you can see the detail there in the sleeve going down. So this is still going to be the Felix sweater. So I'm down. I've got a few more rows to do. It's all curled up, but I have a few more rows to do before I split for the sleeves. Okay. But this one I'm doing I've got the King Cole Sparkle.
Which looks like this. You have this one that you're using, right? The very
I have an
glittery
elastic
gold
wrapped around it.
But yours is silver. Okay.
Mine's silver. So there's the King Cole in the Cosmos. This is, I can't remember what the silver's called, but this is the silver with multicolored sparkle. This yarn does come off the cake easily. So when I'm not knitting with it, I keep an elastic around it so that it doesn't all unravel in my bag. And then I'm holding it with, this is the Leo and Roxy mohair in Meredith. Mm-hmm. They name a lot of their grays with names from Grey's Anatomy. So this one is Meredith.
So you could have paired that with the other marl.
I know, but then that wouldn't have been I like this better. And then I'm using, this is Leo and Roxy 80/20 sock in their Patches to Patches colorway.
Oh, and I am alternating. Colorway.
I am alternating because this one is, at least on the outside, the way I've rolled the balls, this one has quite a bit more color on the outside than this one. But I think when I go into the middle of this one, there's more color. Mm-hmm, but I just wanted it balanced. So I am alternating. I don't have to helical because I'm not in the round. So I'm only switching this
every 2 rows.
I'm not switching out the mohair and the sparkle. But yeah, so now this is bringing me joy. And now I think it'll be great because it's going to go with so many things. It's going to look great over my burgundy colored linen dress.
The dress.
Yes. So I am going to just crop it. So it's just going to be a short one to the waist. And I'm going to get some, like, if I can find like mirror ball buttons to go down it.
I love it.
And then I'm going to find mirror ball earrings. And I think it's going to look amazing. But I think I will get this done for Montreal.
I think so, especially if you're going to crop it. I'll just show the pattern here. So it's the Felix cardigan by
Amy Christopher's here.
Amy Christopher's. Okay, there we go. I think that's a great use of yarn. And I could tell by the smile on your face how much joy it's bringing. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. The other one just was not doing it for me. It just wasn't.
And we like what we like. We like, and we don't have to apologize for it.
Yeah.
No, absolutely not.
You can just do the sleeves to here. And then it would just be at like a cute little cardi, like for the summer, like even to go over a sundress if you're going out in the evening or something. Because I mean, I do that all the
Yes.
time. Go out somewhere. No.
And I'm reading some comments here. It looks like you've got some supporters. Julia said it has to sing. She said she switched main yarns for her second sparkle sweater too, and she's much happier with the switch.
Yep.
Irene says, oh.
Yeah, it is. And it's like, and it's funny because then I will show you some of my acquisitions. We're sitting at the coffee shop and I said, oh, I might have ordered some more glitter yarn. And Kelly goes, how many sparkly sweaters do you need? I'm like, 5.
Well, I did not cast.
It's so much fun to knit with it. It is like, I haven't been able to get back to it because I'm finishing up my samples. So, but I will. By the end of this week, I'll be back to that.
I did not cast on my glitter sweater, but I think I have arrived at a decision. And again, Bobette says, need is such an ugly word. You're not wrong, Bobette. So I talked about this last week. My original thought was to do the Camaro sweater, and I was going to put in some of the chevrons the sparkle, and then I was knitting it's still here. This was my swatch in the slow and the Knit Picks yarn. And then I have the dark glitter. Oops, in case you missed this last week. So this is what I was going to be adding in to my sweater. And I was just going to do some of the V's in the sparkle. So it was going to be a very sort of toned down version of a glitter sweater. But then I also found this one, which is the V-back tee. And there was a whole lot of controversy on these sweaters. So I think I've come to a conclusion. A lot of people said that they had difficulties with both of them. And I read some forums and I wholeheartedly agree that, and I think it has to do with the way you're knitting down on that diagonal, that you continuously increase stitches, and you would have maybe found it in the sweater that you're wearing because it's kind of a similar beginning construction. So you're increasing stitches. And what I have read is that it resulted in a lot of additional bulk in the sweater, either near the back or at the front, because the V-back tee at least is a sweater that you can wear either way.
Right.
So what I think is all of that additional bulk comes from the fact that if you're making a longer style sweater. So I think for me, though, my originating idea behind this sweater was that I was going to make a crop. And if we look back at this picture, which was the one I just showed up, you can see this one's a little bit longer than my crop would be, but I think not such a difficulty with the additional stitches running down the back or across the back of, and I think it's because it's short. So I think the longer you go with that sweater, obviously the more stitches you're adding to carry on with that V. And I think that's where maybe some people struggled with it. I don't know. Send me some comments on that if that's what you're thinking, because I know there's a few people in here. I know Sarah frogged hers. Jenny sent us a message that Jill frogged hers, and they said that it was just too many stitches. So I'm wondering, like, were you trying to make the sweater longer, or were you trying to make a crop version? Because my theory is that a crop version should have less of those stitches. The other thing that I thought I might be able to do if I feel that the sweater is getting too wide too quickly is do something similar to the concept of the cowl that you just did, where you were increasing on one side, but you were decreasing on the other side. So that was kind of creating the knitting on an angle. And I thought it would be very easy to bury a few knit two togethers in there to keep the width or the flare of the sweater tame. I don't know. That's just
I did that when I did the Cascada sweater and it had the lace panel going down.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. When I got to a certain point, like I did the increase where it was supposed to be, but before I did the increase, I did a decrease.
Yes.
Right. So you were still getting the look of the fabric going out,
but not the bulk.
Increasing your stitch count. Yeah.
That's right. So I think, once I finish that and once I've split for the sleeves and I get a measurement of where I want for around the body, I think I don't want those stitches to keep getting wider. But I also think, like I said, if it's a crop, I think you can almost sometimes handle a little bit more like of the width of a sweater when you're in a crop than you can if you're trying to make a longer sweater. So far, my plan is to make the V-back tee, and that's the one that I want to have ready for Montreal. So I really am hoping. I'm so close to finishing my Heartwarmer tee that boy, I hope this week slows down, and I want to get it on needles. So
Okay, here's my, I got it attached to a bunch of needles here. So here's my next whip. This is a lot of knitting. This is a lot of knitting. This sweater is a lot of knitting, but I love it. Like, I love the colors, and I cannot take credit for the colors because Jillian picked the colors. So this is the Friday Tee by Petite Knit. It is in Leo and Roxy. I believe that they are going to be having this yarn at Knit City Montreal. It is their basics yarn in the white color that they have overdyed with the neon colors.
Wow.
And it's just amazing. Now, this is the project I've had to rip back on. So I'm going to show you a few pictures. So first of all, you would think I knew how to knit the sweater.
Fourth one you've knit.
This is the third. Well, two baby ones, but then this is the third one. And the second one in the same size. But now I had to do some calculating before I started this because we were doing it color blocked. So basically, because I've done it before and measured and counted rows, we divided up the rows, right?
Right.
So all I had to do was count right. That's all I had to do was count right. So anyways, here is a picture of what I had to do. Okay. So in this, you can see where that line's going through. That's where I put in my needle and I had to re-pick up all those stitches. And then I had to rip out. There's live stitches down at the bottom. I had to rip back to the needle. So one thing I'm going to say about when you're ripping back, and here I'll show you here. So this, as you can see, I've got my needle up top, but then now I've just got to go around and rip out all of those stitches. So what I had forgotten to do here was to, you went to a certain point where you were increasing the raglans for both the sleeves and the body. And then you stopped doing that. And I mean, I've done the sweater before. I've done it before, but you were supposed to keep increasing in the body, but not in the sleeves. But I just stopped increasing.
But that's probably why you made the mistake, is because you were so used to doing the sweater. You were no longer looking at the pattern at this point.
No, I wasn't. I was reading a novel on my Kindle at the same time. So apparently not a good idea. So anyways, so I had to rip back. But I'm going to say, if you have to do that, when I did that, for me, the easiest way to do it is to put that needle in. So like I picked the row where I had just above where I had done the last increases where I had to start. So take a needle that's a few sizes down, because then it's easier to go in. Your stitches are going to fit around it better, but it's easier to go down and then go all the way around with that needle. And then you can take your other needle off the bottom and then rip back to that where they're all on the cord, and then knit it all back onto your right size needle. So that's the first thing. That's the first thing. So then
Natalie says the turquoise is speaking to her. Natalie, there's no speaking about that sweater. That sweater is singing and yelling. Those are gorgeous, bright colors.
Joyous. It's joyous. Yes. This is such a joyful sweater. So then when I got down here to the pink and I had started into the next section of this, honestly, I had probably that much of it done. And I'm thinking, I wonder, like, I'm almost done with the pink. I wonder why I have so much yarn left. Well, I went back and counted the rows and I didn't do the right amount of rows in the pink. And I thought, this is timed to number of rows. And I'm like, crap. So I had to go back. Now that time, because where I was putting the needle in was right at the division of colors, I could easily see where I had to rip back to. So in this case, I just ripped right back out and then picked up my stitches with the needle and started knitting it again. So like I said, if I hadn't had to do all that re-knitting, I would be done. So, so I've got one more stripe down at the bottom. So it will be that aqua color. I think it's called Barbie Girl. It's what the aqua color is called. I've already picked up for this sleeve because it continues on with that aqua. And just in case I don't have enough of that aqua to finish, I do have a couple of mini skeins. May not be the same dye lot, so I would introduce them when I start the bottom rib so that you wouldn't see the separation. So that's why I thought I'll do the sleeves first, because they kind of continue on from this stripe, just to make sure that they're matched. And then if I have to use the next mini skein, it can be in the rib at the bottom of the sweater.
It's gorgeous.
I seriously, I want one of these for me, but I just don't know if I can put another one of these on my needle right away after. Just don't know.
I can't wait to see them in Montreal all in their sweaters.
I know. I
can't wait.
So, I mean, this sweater's not for me, but it is just bringing me so much joy knitting it. Like I just love it. I love these colors, especially these two. Like I could see me doing like a 5-stripe one with this, the pink, and then the orange and the pink again. Or this would look fantastic if you did a white background and did stripes in all your neons.
Yes, it's so
that
pretty.
would look amazing.
So pretty.
Or you could pick just one of the neons to do like a stripe through it. But I love this pattern. Like I said, I'm not getting tired of knitting it. I just want to knit. I just want to knit something else because it's been the same thing for 3 rows, but I'm really enjoying knitting it. I love how the raglans go together. Like it's just,
I think that's my favorite part. That raglan detail is really, it's just something a little different.
Yeah.
It's very nice.
So absolutely love it. So that I am planning on having that done and dropping it off at Little Red Mitten this Friday.
There you go.
Unless I have to rip back the whole sweater or something.
Courtney's laughing. She said she was counting stitches out loud, and her 2-year-old started running around to hide, thinking she was counting for hide and seek.
That's funny. Yes. So, and then I've also worked a little bit on this. Which I love too. This is the Leo and Roxy work sock, but they put it together with sets with their marl yarn as opposed to just the black and white marl with the white and the contrast color. So they've done the colored marl, and then you've got stripes in both the black and the flamenco, I think is the colorway. When I get down, the heel will be in the flamenco colorway, and then the toe will be in the black.
In the black, yeah.
So, but really, really nice. And they've got that in different colors as well.
If you had done your sweater in that marl with the pink mohair, yes, that would be perfect.
Yep. And I do have some blue marled that I just bought some new yarn that I think will go with very nicely. So that might be the marled one. So that's all I'm working on.
Okay. I don't have anything else. Oh, well, I guess I could show my sweater. It looks exactly the same as it did last week, except now there's a finished sleeve and then the other side is almost finished. So have a finished the right way. Finished 3/4 sleeve. And I did the sleeve in a plain stockinette. We talked about this last week because I thought the sweater was already fairly busy, but now I'm down. I've only got a few rows. I love this bag, but it's the one that you got me for Christmas, and I absolutely love it. But for some strange reason, these here, I always get the yarn caught underneath there, and then I can't pull it out of the bag. And this is also the Sonder Sunday morning 4-ply. This is my second skein. This is what's left. I don't know if I'm probably going to get really close to finishing this sweater in 2 skeins flat, but I'm probably going to have to break into the third. I have 3 skeins, but I mean, I'm really close and there's still a decent amount of yarn left in there. I love this sweater. It's the Heartwarm. I'm showing you the back of it. It's the Heartwarmer Tee by Justina Lorkowska. And I love the color. I love the baubles. And, yeah, so it's a crop sweater for this one because I'm making it to go with those high-waisted pants, which I didn't get the elastic in. Wanted to comment on that tonight and tell you how I made out with that sewing and if I like them or not. They're all together now except for the elastic. And so far, I think I like them. Now, I don't know what they're going to look like on, but on the sewing table, they look fun. So we'll see. We'll see. All right. And I had just this that I wanted to talk about. It's not a whip yet, but I'm thinking about getting this at least onto needles because it's something that I want to work on, maybe on the train on the way to Montreal. But it's this pattern. And this was the Christmas gift from you to me. And where did it go?
Hope and Sunshine.
Hope and Sunshine socks. The pattern is by Tracy Miller, and it came in a kit. It was Louie and Lola hand-dyed yarns from Tasmania, and it's so pretty. I love these socks, and I just thought they'd be fun to work on. So this is the main color, which is, I would love a sweater in this color. I think this is like that beautiful, perfect coral with the little pops of gold. Look at those gold pops. And then it actually comes with gold.
The gold, yeah.
And then this gorgeous cream. So this might be my sock knitting for the train. So I got them wound up. They're ready to go. And it's beautiful yarn too. It's an 80% blue face Leicester and 20% nylon. So it's a true sock yarn, but it's fairly thick too. And you actually knit these ones, I think, didn't you tell me with a 2.5 needle?
2.5. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to that. Okay. Do you have anything else?
I don't have anything else that I'm knitting. I have my new sparkle yarn that I got.
All right. Show that off.
Okay. So we did not go to local yarn store day today or this year because it was such a crappy day and it would have been over an hour drive and
we wanted to knit outside with friends.
We wanted to knit with friends and we go there fairly regularly. Like it's I mean, I would have liked to have gone, but it's like, and especially for you, when you only get 2 days off on the weekend, you don't want to spend a whole lot of it in the car. Right. And I mean, in the car obviously means one of us was not going to be able to knit. Right?
Yes. Yes.
So anyway, and plus I knew I had to go back this weekend because I have to go get Zoe. So I didn't really want to go 2 weekends in a row. So we didn't end up going, but a lot of yarn stores did have some online specials for local yarn store day. So the Knitting Loft in Toronto did have a sale on during local yarn store day. And I had some gift certificates. So we all know that mohair and sparkle yarn really don't count as yarn purchases because
they're condiments.
So I picked up a few condiments. So this sparkle is a little bit different. So this is the Ella Ray Sequinicity.
Oh,
so look at
that's
this.
Very nice.
Isn't that nice? Like,
okay, maybe somebody does need more than one sparkle sweater. That's very nice.
So this is 270 meters. It's still a very, very fine thread, but this is different in that your thread coordinates with the color of the sequins. So like I said, I think this would go gorgeous with that. I've got the marl, but in like all blues.
Nice.
And I think that would look really, really nice with it. But I just love the sparkle in that. So I got this color, which I believe is called Midnight.
Gorgeous.
And then I got this color. So of course. You can see the
you didn't tell me, you've mentioned it, but you didn't tell me it came in such beautiful colors. And I thought, I'm not looking.
You didn't need any more sparkle sweaters.
But I might.
So this one is called Flamingo.
Yes.
So I got 3 of those. And then this one.
Oh.
This one is called Dragon Fruit.
Oh my gosh, that's gorgeous.
Isn't it?
That's beautiful.
Okay. So I got, and there was I couldn't decide. There was other gorgeous colors. Like I just couldn't decide. There was gorgeous purples and there was like gorgeous blues and aquas and there was just a plain silver. And I'm like, oh, I could just get them all. But apparently you don't need more than 5 sparkle sweaters.
We have to go on we have to go on a knitting drive and go
to the knitting loft.
The knitting loft.
You've never been there.
I didn't get to go last time. You guys, invited me that couple of times. And I didn't get to go, but I would love to go. To go.
But like, wouldn't even this, like, I think I could even hold that with the Holst Cloudberry. And that would wouldn't that make like a gorgeous, beautiful, like Christmas sweater?
Never mind that. You could even hold it with, just a second here. Even this. Oops. Don't fall. Even this, the Coast the stone wash, even
Yeah.
though it's
And I've got
a darker
river too.
blue.
I could
Like,
hold river.
yes, but I mean, hold it up tight.
Yep. But I can't.
Cover your face. There you go. Look at that. That would be beautiful. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
I know.
Okay. We
Anyway.
have to go to the knitting loft.
Yep.
Toot sweet.
Yep. So
would we have time when we stop in Toronto for the train?
There's Bruna. Bruna says, please come. We will, Bruna.
We will,
sure.
Bruna. We will, for sure.
So can you go tomorrow?
No, I can't go this week. Yes, I want to go.
We will. We'll get there. So especially now that the weather's getting nicer and it's not so bad to go for, but we should go stay in Toronto overnight and go.
That would be fun. Yes.
Yeah.
Darcy, we got them at the knitting loft, or sorry, I didn't get anything. Noelle got it.
I got them at the knitting loft
in Toronto, and they have a fantastic site for ordering online.
They do,
and ships anywhere, to my knowledge, anywhere. But I know that she had a really nice big sale on for local yarn store day. So. Bruna says she's going on the train to Montreal.
You mean like to Knit City, Montreal? We're going on the train to Knit City, Montreal.
Wouldn't that be fun if we were like in the same
train is so like, I love traveling by train because it's not as restrictive as air travel. You don't have all the time waiting like you do for an airplane. You don't have to sit in your seat the same way as an airplane. You can kind of get up and walk a little bit and you knit the whole time. Yes. Oh, she is going. Well, maybe we'll see you.
Yay. So that would be great.
We're so excited about going to Knit City, Montreal. And I would like to get another sweater finished with one of these before then too. Pressure.
Okay. I did have one other thing that I finished and I talked about it last week, but I wasn't able to get the pictures flipped over. So I did that on the weekend. So I did talk a few weeks ago. This is a little bit of sewing. So I had bought some things at a thrift store that I wanted to tear apart and make into something else. So I bought a pair of sweatpants, Under Armour sweatpants, child's, and then I bought a lady's tunic style terry fleece thing. And I brought it home, cut it all up, and I turned it into a little sweatsuit for Myles, a little streetwear, baby streetwear. And Kendall finally got some pictures of him on the weekend. So I just wanted to share the pictures of him and his little, I just think he's so adorable in it. He was so excited. She FaceTimed me when he was opening the box and he was like, grabbed the shirt and ran over to her. He's like, put it on me. And then there's one more picture. Like, I love it. I want that outfit, but nobody can have that outfit because it's one of a kind.
One of a kind. That's right.
One of a kind. But yeah, he was super cute in it. So I just wanted to share that with everybody. And did I have anything else in there that I was tucking away for another? Oh, I did want to talk about something else only because Julia mentioned it earlier. You may have noticed in the last 2 weeks, I have changed our thumbnails. So I used to have these like beautiful thumbnails with very pretty pictures of knitting, but it kind of came to me that maybe people don't realize who we are when they see that every week. So I thought, okay, so this was this week's, and last week we did the same thing. There we are on our knitting background. So what this means is that we're going to have to start taking more pictures of the two of us together because we don't have a whole lot.
No.
Where we can actually put them on a thumbnail. But I thought maybe that would make us a little bit more relatable if you could see who we are. So, yes. Oh, Kathy said Myles is getting so big. I know. He's a toddler now. He's not even a baby anymore.
I know. They grow so fast. Like Penelope's first birthday is this month. Just so fast.
Where does the time go? Where does the time go? Lastly, we were talking about yarns. This was not a new acquisition. This was yarn that this was a Christmas gift, I think, from last year from Noelle, and it was for the half and half wrap. And I have 3 balls in each color of the. Again, this one is not nearly as neon. There, that's a truer color in the Pearl Soho linen quill. And Jenny mentioned that you could do a salty air tea and just like put such a burr in my ear about this. And I know that even if I hold this one up, it's not going to show true to color, but there's like little flecks of white in here, which I'm guessing are the linen. It's really, really pretty yarn. So this might be my Salty Air tee because it's been in my queue for a while. And then when we were at the coffee shop on Saturday, Julia hauls out. She's working on a Salty Air tee in linen quill, not yellow. But then I also have this one, and this, it's deceiving because it looks really gray until you really look at it, and there's a lot of blue in there. A lot of blue.
I think that one was called Stillwater.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be gorgeous as another sweater. So I have 3 skeins of each. That's easily a sweater. More things to cast on. And now I will get the true use of that yarn because I've been feeling really guilty that I didn't cast on the half and half wrap. But friends, I'm sorry. That's a lot of knitting. And I think I would get more use out of the sweaters. So we're gonna go with that.
Yeah. So
all right.
Okay.
We are running late tonight. We are at an hour and 20 minutes. We got a little bit
Here,
of a late
we didn't even have any
we had nothing
finished
really
objects.
to talk about. That's how it goes. Some nights we just talk. So thank you for spending some time with us on a cold Tuesday night. If you are anywhere in Ontario, if you enjoyed yourself, please give us a thumbs up. That helps the channel. That gets it in front of a few more viewers. And we've been pleasantly surprised by like a big sort of tick up in our subscribers in the last few weeks. So I think it was the New Zealand episode that
I noticed a lot of people in here from New Zealand tonight, and thanks so much for joining us. Like, I want to go back there so badly. I want to go somewhere. I just want to travel now. I've just like got that travel bug. And we actually, yesterday I just booked, we are going out to the East Coast in September.
Are you? Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
So we're going for a week to New Brunswick, a week to PEI, and a week to Nova Scotia.
Very nice.
So I'm looking forward to that. But I want to go back to New Zealand too. I said, Ross, instead of going to like Florida for like the winter, we could go to New Zealand.
Absolutely, you could. I know. Absolutely. I know. Arizona is always in my mind for the winter. I like Arizona in the winter. So, all right.
Okay. So thanks again, everybody, for joining us. Like, it makes our week, even with the technical issues. So
we're always going to have those.
Yeah. We're
just so you know.
Those. Luckily, I have backup headphones.
Big ones.
That's okay. So. Okay, so take care, everybody. Happy knitting, and we will see you next week.
You will.
Bye.